I've never been to United States, but for me, I think it was easier in Pakistan to make a content because content creation was cheap to make. Now it's still cheap to make.
Tell us about you. Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I'm from Pakistan. I'm a content creator. I've been creating content since 9 years, and I've started content creation when the word content creation didn't really exist in my region. I would say the word YouTuber did not really exist in my region, especially at that time. YouTube was banned in Pakistan because of some religious reasons. I don't want to go in details about that, but the point is, being a
Maybe
content
later we'll go.
maybe later we'll go about that. But yeah, it was banned and I didn't know. And we were friends from university friends. So there was a time when I saw King Bash, Anwar Jibawi, Lele Pons.
So
They
you
used
were
to,
consuming content from United States.
yeah, wines. Remember that culture of
Yes,
wines?
Vines.
I was such a huge fan, still a big fan. So that was like, why don't we make a wine in Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi style, our own culture, our own values, what our mother thinks, what our father thinks, the stereotypical kind of thingy, but it's in a funny way. And what relationships are like, what siblings are like, and like normal general comedy. And it actually worked because it was, again, relatable content. So that was the era of the wine, relatable content, how friends react, and all these things. Types of friends, types of this people, types of this.
But you started making these vines in Pakistan in what platform?
On Facebook
On Facebook.
and YouTube, we used to upload it through VPN, but we didn't have many views of it. We were just uploading it for the sake of being a YouTuber or for the sake of that platform. But Facebook was the main thing which was giving us views. There was no
How old you were at that time?
how old I was. I think 2014, I was 22 years old. Yeah, right now I'm 31 years old. So yeah, I was very young. And I was very, of course, by the time you start to learn a lot of things, I had no understanding about that. But I'm glad that first mover advantage I had. I'm glad that we were way ahead of our time at that time of content creation. There was something which really did
Do you
not
think it was
exist.
harder for you in Pakistan than it was for a kid in the United States? For you to make videos?
To be honest, I've never been to United States, but at that time I used to travel a lot. I've been to Dubai I've been coming to Dubai since I was a kid. So
we're here in Dubai, by the way.
we are in Dubai right now, by the way. So for me, I think it was easier in Pakistan to make a content, and it's still, for me, it's easier in Pakistan to make a content because content creation was cheap to make. Now it's still cheap to make. Cheap as in editing, having a team, hiring a team is very cheap. Small things, for example, having props for my videos, very cheap. So yeah.
Is it true? One taxi driver here in Dubai, which everyone is Pakistani. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He told me that the average salary in Pakistan is around $250 a month. Is that true?
I would say $150 a month.
$150.
$150 a month.
Fucking hell.
It's low, right?
It's very low.
Yeah. But because a lot of things are cheaper, it was cheaper, but now because of the inflation and all these things going on, we are in a very bad economic crisis, sadly, very unfortunate. But now things are very getting expensive. I don't know when it is going to stop. But back in those days, it was a good money.
There is so much stuff to ask you. First of all, we didn't complete your story to go fast forward to what you are doing now. That you are one of the biggest podcasters.
One of the biggest, you can say. I don't like to use the
podcaster
word.
in your country.
Yeah.
Nas Daily, one of our friends, he really likes the biggest in this country. He really likes to emphasize the biggest in this country, the biggest of that,
Yeah.
the biggest of this.
And I was nervous. I'm like, bloody hell, no, I'm not the biggest. but you can say, I mean, I don't like the word biggest, one of the biggest.
You tell me you get 2 million views in every one of your podcasts on total. So
Yeah,
that's a lot of views.
that's a lot. I'm glad
So-
glad that's working like that.
So what topics mostly you are covering in your podcast?
So because because the culture is quite new in Pakistan of this podcast, and I'm still learning. In every podcast, in every episode, I think a lot. For example, I've already recorded like 16, 17 episodes, and I'm in Dubai right now, and I do watch my podcast. I read the comments and I try to think that what do I need to change and stuff
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
Because I love to learn from the comments. I take them very seriously, not in a negative way, in a very positive way. So some of the comments I totally disagree with that, but some of them are very interesting. So I think a lot about them. So what my podcasts are all about, again, it is a very new culture. So I have this opportunity, alhamdulillah, opportunity to talk about anything and everything. But again, I'm struggling a lot with that. For example, my niche or categories, I would say, is politicians, historians, geopolitics, psychiatrists. I invite psychiatrists and psychologists and actors and content creators and doctors and economists and all. That's a lot, right? That's a lot.
A lot of fields.
A lot of different fields. And now I'm like, it's absolutely hard. For example, if
How
I
many podcasts you did in total?
60.
60. Wow.
60.
Wow. And you had that much success in 60 podcasts?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I already already had some sort of audience. People knew me since I've been creating this content since 9 years. So people knew. So it was easier for me to gather audience in the start. But now it takes time to build the audience. It takes time. So it's gonna take more time, I think.
Which one you think is one of the most interesting topics that you cover in your podcast? You like more politics? You like more the geopolitics, psychiatrists,
I'm gonna tell you.
YouTubers? What do you like?
I think one of the podcast I did was about terrorism, basically. Very, very controversial things.
Terrorism.
Terrorism. I did a whole podcast about Al Qaeda. Can you imagine? Because I love these topics because it's
And
a
they
reality of
didn't
life.
shut it down, right?
Imagine they did not.
Okay.
They did not. I did a podcast about terrorism. I did a podcast about geopolitics and problems with Pakistani society, Pakistani politics, and our geopolitics. What should be the policies with India, Pakistan? I do a lot of podcasts about India, Pakistan as well. Very controversial thing because you,
Yes.
being a foreigner, you probably heard.
They hate each other.
Yeah, that's what you heard, right? But when it comes to people, we love each other. We absolutely love each other.
Are you sure?
Trust me, we do. Yeah, because on social media, what you see, it's not 100% true, bro. If I'm with an Indian, I'm telling you 100%. If I'm with an Indian, he will relate to me completely properly. Okay? I mean, we relate to each other a lot because we've been living together since 2000 years, dude. We are same brown people, same genetics, same history, same languages, same cultures, same communities, same faces almost, and same food, same music, same sports, cricket. We love cricket. So I focus on good most of the time.
Where they fight about, what they fight about, and what's the problem?
Bro, it is a very long discussion. They fight on almost everything as well. Do you understand the love and hate relationship? They fight on cricket. They send love to each other on cricket, and some of them fight with each other. So I'm not talking about all of them. We are talking about the segments. Like one segment fight each other on cricket, and one segment love each other on cricket. One segment fight each other on politics. One segment understand each other's politics. One segment fight each other on religion. One segment loves
But you are giving me the love answer. Tell me, Ro, what are they fighting about? Do they, because of problems that politicians did?
Yeah.
Because of war in the past? What is the
history, I would say. So when India and Pakistan was dividing, again, I mean, you would ask me why it was divided, but so there's a long history behind that. But I would say that when it was dividing, then British did not completely clear the idea about this place called Kashmir, and they were I would simply say that they had this responsibility to, because there was a division happening in all over the world, right, in Middle East as well and stuff like that. So it was their responsibility. They were ruling it. It was their responsibility to divide it properly, so people don't have issues later, right? So what I personally think is maybe they have an idea because they were so smart. So they probably they had this idea that this part, leave it behind, they'll fight with each other. So yeah, do you get my point?
Okay, so the UK used the method of divide and rule, and they tried to make each other fight so they can be collecting loot or keep stay in power. So this is because they did it in my country as well, UK. They put us fight with the Turkish just for them to this is kind of a way to rule countries, to make them fight. So this is what they did, you think?
Bro, to be honest, I'm from Pakistan. I have this green passport. Okay, I cannot raise my voice. I cannot be very opinionated. What? I cannot make a proper opinion about these things because it's not easy for me being a Pakistani. Do you get my point? It is scary. The thing you said, if I say I have in my mind, I think it's risky for me.
Interesting.
It's very risky for me.
What's the risk?
Risk is like
you are going back to your country and they are going to do something to
not
you.
In my country. If I'm going to any other country, they might not like it. For example, you said about UK. They might not like it. This is what I think.
Okay, can you elaborate on that? Because I find that very interesting. Like, what are you actually afraid of?
I'm actually... See, I'm from Pakistan. We, since we have born, we did not really have this freedom of speech. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But I think if I talk something against any country, so being a Pakistani, we are a third world country, we are a developing nation, it's really easy to suppress that voice. It's very easy.
So you are very careful in your podcast.
I try to
not get into super extreme opinions about these things.
True. Do you get my point?
Yes, I get your point. I get your point. But I cannot understand, honestly, because I heard Elon Musk new podcast, and he was saying that when you don't have freedom, complete freedom, you cannot understand how is it to not have complete freedom. So because I'm growing in a country that I can say whatever I want, I can say fuck the president, I can say fuck whatever.
I can't.
So
that's too extreme for me.
Yes,
that's too risky for me.
It's very interesting, very very crazy, interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's say,
and personally, I don't believe in abusing anyone. Do you get my point? Personally, if you ask me if I had the freedom, I would not abuse a politician. I would disagree in a very decent way. With my own proper research, I would say. And now in my podcast, I do this all the time.
I love your energy. You're amazing. Continue.
Yeah. If you give me a freedom to abuse my politicians, for example, my prime minister or president or military head as well, I would love to disagree. I would love to criticize them in a very decent way. And this is what my religion teaches us. It's called having a balance in almost everything.
What's the religion?
Islam.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm Muslim.
Beautiful.
So this is what I mean. Of course, there are a lot of things which I really keep very. They're very important to me. So this is what I learned from my religion, that having a balance is very important. So being indecent, being very abusive in front of that person, you're actually somehow harming your own self, I think.
I have a question for you. Very interesting question that I really want to know the answer. How do we make Pakistan more free, more rich, not a third world country anymore in the world? What do you think is the steps that needs to be made from the people, from other countries, maybe from the government? What we can't do, what I can't do as a person.
You know, it's very interesting. I have this very strong opinion kind of that these third world countries, a lot of first world countries are beneficiary because we are third world countries. But what my opinion is, like the steps, I think manufacturing our own products and services, it's gonna be very important. It has to be important because right now Pakistan is an import based country, which is not nice. So our major export is it's not a lot. Our import is, for example, our import is $90 billion or $60 billion, and our export is only $30 billion. And then most of the
your import is $60 billion.
Yeah.
And your input.
I'm giving
is
example, not the
billion.
exact numbers. I'm just giving you example that our import is more double than the export.
Okay, good.
So then the other chunk of the money we earn from our overseas Pakistanis, people who live outside Pakistan, they give us remittance. So that this is called foreign remittance. So this is how the country is working. Then taking a lot of loans from all the countries and IMF and all these things. We are in trouble, huge trouble. But how to go out of it? It is going to be a very slow process. But the first thing is manufacturing your own products, and don't rely a lot on imports. And we need to make sure that we create our own something very interesting, like our own products. Try to make import less, have more services, and
That's interesting.
Tech is the way forward, I think.
Tech
because
is the way forward. Yeah, this what you said sounded like an old school thought. Import more, like export more stuff and like make more stuff in your country. But it kind of makes sense in my head, because if you are making your own stuff, then you are paying the people in your country the salaries, and you're not paying India or other countries the salary. But as you said, tech might be the way forward, and elaborate on that as well.
Yeah, because one thing is Pakistan is a very, very poor country, and I take it very positively because China was very poor as well, and this was their benefit. This was their strength because of cheap labor. This is our strength. This is India's strength as well. This is Bangladesh's strength as well. For example, if you hire an editor in US, how much are you gonna pay that person?
Probably more than $5,000 a month if he's world class. If he's
good at
10,000 a month, 20,000 a month.
What is world class? Ali Abdaal style editing?
No, world class. I mean, Mr. Beast editing,
Johnny Harris
editing.
Johnny Harris.
Let's say we can't say that. Johnny Harris.
Okay, but a decent.
Do you know Mr. Beast?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Because you didn't react to what I said, Mr. Beast.
I didn't react much, but I think Johnny Harris is very like I love his content.
Editing. Okay.
I love his content. So yeah, $5,000 to $10,000. Pakistan, $200 with a good edit approach. $300 with a great edit approach. Great editor we can find. See the difference. So this is just one example, and you can hire any good person in that. But again, there is a shortage of skill. So we are actually working on that. We are trained shortage of skill. Right?
How do you work on that?
For example, okay, I'm gonna give you my own example. So I have a team of editors. I just work on their edit approach.
How big is your team?
5 people.
5 people.
5 people. But I have invested in a company as well. I'm a partner in a company which has 40 editors and 40 editors, and so we do all these training sessions with the editors that you guys are amazing. You have the same equipment as in softwares and all these things which an editor in US has. All we need is a good solid approach and dedication and hard work. So this is Ali Abdaal, this is Johnny Harris, this is Mr. Beast, and this is Joe Rogan or some other podcasters. This is how podcast reels are going to are trending, and all
Wow.
these things. So you have to just work on your approach. That's it. We are the cheapest in the world, and this is our strength. And this is how it helps us. It's gonna help us in every different field. And this is the way forward. This is how India is working. And I think it's very important for us to learn this and understand the strength of being poor, and work on it and try to
Brother,
uplift
this is
that.
such an innovative thought, because, and also like it's such a self-awareness. I think is very important in life. Maybe the most important thing, like Socrates said, and like to be able to understand in what position you are, and like understand, okay, we're poor, we have this, but you can use this as a strength, not
Exactly.
a weakness.
China did it.
It's
Because we have evidence, right? Historically, I can see India is doing it right now. We can see. We just need to copy paste. That's it, bro.
what's the population of Pakistan?
250, more than 250 million. And 60,
Wow.
65% is less than 40 years old. 65% of us. All of us are young. So good, right?
What? More? 65% is more than
Less than 40,
less than 40. Okay.
which means young population.
Okay.
Which means more, we can do more hard work and all these things. Not smartest mind, not wisest mind, but we can be like, training is the main thing.
I want you to elaborate. So you gave some pointers. Okay. We have we do the tech. We use our strength as being cheap, and we produce more products in our country. Do you think that will solve all the problems of
No.
Pakistan?
No.
And like,
No.
how many years do you think this will take for this to go? And do you think some politics need to change as well?
Of course.
Through the thing, do you think, how do you solve corruption? Because I don't know a lot of things about Pakistan.
Corruption is the biggest problem of my country.
Tell me about it.
Of course. Corruption is the biggest problem of our country, and it's such a sad thing because the name is Islamic Republic of Pakistan, which is the country is our constitution is supposed to be Islamic and all these things, and corruption is the biggest punishment. Corruption has one of the biggest punishment in Islam. It is so it's haram. It's completely forbidden, and we are one of the most corrupt country in the world. So contradictory, so sad, right? So I think
Wow, I never thought about it.
yeah, so contradictory, so sad, but now we are at our worst right now economically. I would say one of the worst time in the history of Pakistan, in the history like 75 years. So it's time for politicians and establishment to take. Establishment means bureaucracy, judiciary, and military. They need to take this moment very seriously. Just don't do a lot of corruption. Don't do a lot of corruption means corruption exists everywhere in the world. But when you do a lot of it, then this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. So don't do a lot of corruption. Do reforms. Make easy life for businesses, businessmen. Empower people and take it seriously, please. It's very important.
Can you explain me how corruption looks in your country, or that's a dangerous topic as well?
And it's not dangerous.
Okay.
So
Explain.
it's a beautiful thing that it's not dangerous. I'm glad that I can talk about it. So corruption exists in every department in Pakistan. Almost every department. I'm not going to name like every department, but in almost every department of Pakistan. Yeah. And that's very sad. From bureaucracy, so to police, to
And what really means though, like, nobody, you need to give money under the table to do your job. Like,
Yeah.
People can come and kill you and like get away from with the police. Like,
I mean,
what is how bad for me to understand, because it's easy to say corruption, but I don't know how many. Corruption
how many levels?
has so many layers.
True. So many categories as well. So the killing and all these things, it's not easy. Like, it's not really easy. It's not really easy in Pakistan, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
That's not that good. It
Right
should
now.
be impossible.
It should be impossible, of course, bro. I'm being very realistic right now. It should be impossible. 100% it should be impossible. But the sad part is it does.
See?
But the sad part is it does exist. Sad part is it does exist. We have this evidence. We have it is documented everywhere. I'm not saying something out of blue. It is documented in the articles, and journalists always talk about these killings and all these things. But the point is, the major issue is the corruption in these departments. As in, for example, you can get away with anything. From anything with money, right? This is a problem. So when you don't have law and order, a proper law and order, and law is only for the poor people, for someone who doesn't have a huge voice. I am among those people who are not very powerful. So law is probably applied on me, but not on the elites of the country. You get my point?
Yes.
Like that's why I'm scared. That's why I'm scared.
The elites can do whatever they want.
Elite is the problem of Pakistan. After all these podcasts with authors and historians and geopolitics people and politicians, I find elites is a problem. Elites means establishment, politicians, businessmen, people who has a lot of power. That's really shame, and that's really sad that they use it for their own good. They don't really think about people. They have zero empathy for the people. And it breaks my heart, bro. I mean, see, I think I'm actually thinking a lot back in my mind that what words should I use? I'm that much scared.
So do you feel, I sense now that I spend a bit time with you, that you feel a big sense of mission in your life to help Pakistan.
Of
and
course.
With this podcast that you do, and every podcast you have around 1-2 million views, it's probably, and Pakistani people are listening to you, is probably a good start for change. So do you feel this mission that
this is my mission? Having critical thinking, having empathy for everyone, important. Not only Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. I feel like we have the same region. I really think that we need to talk about peace as soon as we can. Bend our own egos, please, and talk about peace as soon as we can, and work for the people. Corruption exists, that's true, but it has to go low. The ratio has to go low. We need to do reforms for the businesses. We need to work a lot on law and order, a lot on crime. My city has a biggest problem of crime, and I'm from Karachi, and it is such a sad thing that crime exists a lot in the city. It exists everywhere. I mean, it exists in London as well. I was mobbed. I was robbed in Central London 3 months ago in front of everybody. It does. But the point is, I'm talking about my city. It is my problem. It's like someone else. You can't compare problem with the problem, worst of the worst. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm talking about my problems. So my city has this issue, and it makes me really sad. And why sad? Because I know how easy it is to end this. It's not impossible. If I had like all the powers, I think in 6 months I would have been done with all the crimes. It's not too hard. It's very easy.
Do you think you can become a president of Pakistan, or is it impossible for you to become a president of Pakistan?
No. I don't think so. Anything is impossible, first of all. And I don't think so I can become a president or something. President, for example, the truth is, president doesn't have really too much power. Prime Minister has a lot of powers. But, oh man, this is so funny.
Prime Minister, do you think you can become?
I mean, I have never thought about that one. That's so funny, because I don't want to talk about that. But we have, again, elite. I told you, few departments. Not only one person have power. A lot of people have a lot of powers. That's why there's a fight between all these departments and institutions. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Politicians, establishments, elites, as in businessmen, they all have a lot of power, religious politicians as well. There's so many powerful departments and institutions that you can't say that I'll be the prime minister. I won't have much power. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Being a being a prime minister of Pakistan, if you make me tomorrow, I'll be a very powerless prime minister. Like 20-30% of power I would have. I would have power, not absolute power, which is not nice.
Oh, and sometimes not having an absolute power and being like a dictator.
Absolute power, as in all the departments. Democracy, I mean, everyone has, the parliament has a role, and senate has a role, of course. But absolute power, as in, if I say that crime has to end, then
everyone agrees. For that. Yeah. So what can individuals like me outside Pakistan can do to help the situation in Pakistan, or what Pakistani people can do to help? Because we are the people, we are the world.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What can we do all together or individual?
All together, I think. See, back in 2019, I hosted two big YouTubers from the world, Rubinsky and Dear Aleen. I hosted them in Pakistan. Why? Because I have so much believe in Pakistan's tourism. So yeah, we can do these small things matter a lot. I think I think tourism in Pakistan has a lot of potential. So we can start from these small things, like why people should start visiting Pakistan, because it's not too far from here.
So
Dubai, it's 1.5 hour flight from here to my city, 2 hours from here to the Islamabad and all these places. You should visit Pakistan, bro.
Well,
then you will understand more.
I make YouTube videos and I make some traveling videos as well. So I travel across India for free and like hitchhiking, doing all this stuff. And the video has now, I don't know, 4-something million views. So, but I'm afraid to do it in Pakistan. Should I be afraid or should not?
Oh my God. And it's so sad that you said you actually used the word afraid, and I understand why you used it.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is what I hear from the world. Perception. Yeah. So I'm
Such
here ask if you tell me honestly, I can do it.
Let me give you an example.
But you spoke about
you know Rubinsky?
Yes.
Yeah, you know Rubinsky. Rubinsky and his wife came to Pakistan, and his wife was crying in Peshawar because nobody was charging any money from them, and they were the other shopkeepers were gifting money, gifting them their own goods and stuff like that, and she was crying because of the love and generosity. So Pakistan and this whole region, our whole region, is one of the most generous place on earth. Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, we are extremely generous. So once you visit that place, you would love it. We are such a welcoming nation.
So you don't think it's dangerous for a person with a
no.
camera alone to have a goal to travel from one side of Pakistan to the other?
Definitely not. Right now, no. Before that, I would have said something else, but right now, no.
Okay.
No. 100% no.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of this video, I'm committing I travel across Pakistan for free. And maybe it will show the world that is not that dangerous.
Yeah, please. Thank you very much. I think I'm glad that you have this empathy. I'm glad that you feel that some sort of responsibility to do this for my country.
No, it's not your country. It's
exactly
world's people.
Exactly.
So it's not my country, your country. So whenever you see a problem that you might be able to do 0.0000001% to help, you do it.
Yeah.
And you hope that other people will.
Yeah. Focus on good.
Yeah.
Focus on good. Most of the time I focus on good, and it always works for me. It always works for me.
Or you were always like this, focusing on good, or you needed to go through a lot of hardships to understand
What
this?
a question, bro. Of course, I was an extremist. I was a very negative person. I was actually an extremist, and extremist in a very negative way. And but people evolve. We do evolve. I started to travel a lot since 2011. I've been to 25 countries at least, and multiple countries, multiple times in one country, single country, for example. Europe, I've traveled solo. So, being a Pakistani, living in a very close society, and the kind of background I have. So, I think this helped me a lot to learn. This helped me a lot to evolve, and then to understand that okay, if a problem exists in Pakistan, there are a lot of problems which they exactly the same problem exists in the world, and how did they solve it? Okay, so the point is, I do have a hope about anything and everything which is happening in Pakistan.
Well, but you didn't answer my question to how you became that positive. Is you were not always like that. You said you were a pessimistic person. What was that transition? And
Travel.
Travel.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, that travel is something which actually.
Then you answer my question,
but it's okay. It's okay. I understand.
The audience is a bit cleverer than me, and now they're making fun of me.
No, it's okay. Maybe I didn't answer it properly, but I'm gonna elaborate it a bit more.
Just take no of his bad responsibilities. Not that because you are stupid. It's okay.
Yeah, we all are somehow. We are not 100% right always, bro. I mean, yeah, I learn from every podcast, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, that was my mistake. Okay, that was not my mistake. Yeah, okay, and things like that. So sometimes I get confused. Then I think, and thinking. Sometimes I feel like thinking is a curse because you overthink a lot, and you're like, and this helps me understand people, and I'm glad that I think a lot.
Yes. Thinking about stuff deeply is one of the very good things in life.
I never used to think much because I didn't really try to understand people's opinion, because I had my own strong opinions, bro. I was like, fuck it. This is my opinion. But now when you think a lot, so this is my process. Since 1 year, I've been thinking a lot. So I think I'm still in a process to think and making opinions, rejecting my own, unlearning things. So that's the most important thing, I think. Because there's so many things which you learn from the society. For example, racism. You learn.
You are coming to an interesting topic now.
Yeah, racism. You learn by the time you're born from the society. Racism, because I thought that this color of mine is ugly. And I actually thought about that because all of my relatives and all of them, they used to call me Kala. Kala means black. This is a derogatory term to make fun of the color. And actually I thought that I am very ugly. So I had to unlearn that thing. And for that, what happened is when I went to Europe and all these places, then a lot of people actually were like, they gave me compliment about my color. And that was very eye-opener for me, that what? I thought it's ugly. I'm not saying that I got a validation, but that was very important for me to understand that, okay, not everyone in the world thinks that this is an ugly color. Okay. Which means, and then I was like, okay. Then I had to think a lot about the color and all these things. Then I'm like, okay, no color really matters a lot. I had to unlearn that thing that, okay, brown is a bad color, black is a bad color, white is a good color, and this color is good. No. It is still a long process.
You spoke about racism. Another stuff, just to being honest with you, another thing that I heard about Pakistan is about the not fair treatment of women. Do you want to explain me if that's true and what is happening with that?
That is absolutely true. So women's rights is a major issue in Pakistan, and women's rights is a major issue in all over the world. But if we talk about the ratio, yes, we have this problem. And I think it's very important for all of us, mainly Pakistanis, who have this voice, who have this privilege, women, men. We need to talk about that. We need to talk about honor killings. It should not happen. We need to talk about the women women should go to school. All of the everyone should go to school, but I know, but when we talk about numbers,
Women don't go to school.
when we talk about numbers, a lot of women don't go to school because of the society, because of the culture. But in urban areas of
And
Karachi,
what they do?
in
They stay at home. And
Yeah.
they help the house.
yeah, I'm talking about rural basically. But in urban, we have this culture.
What's the percentage you think now of the girls that they stay home and they don't?
I don't
go
have
to
the
school?
number, to be honest, but it is a lot. It is a
You
lot.
think it's more than half of the girls?
I don't have the numbers, to be honest. I can't literally make a statement that half or some percentage.
That's a clever person there. When he doesn't know something, he says,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
I'm not. This is very irresponsible, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about like I'm making a bad statement about my country or good. I try to speak something which I know about. I have an evidence. I have some articles, or I have some research, some documentaries, and all these things. Government numbers as well, stats, and all these things. The truth is, majority of the kids in Pakistan's 20 million kids don't go to school. More than 20 million don't go to schools. There is a problem. Education is a big problem. Women education is a big problem. Women rights, honor killing, giving equal rights to women. And one thing something I really know about that is we have a difference in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh than in women in Bangladesh. And the success story behind Bangladesh is their women work in the factories and all these things, because 50% of the population, if it doesn't work, then how your economy is going to survive? This is a time of depression and recession and inflation and all these things. So it's important for Pakistani women to work, and Pakistani men
To allow
to allow them at least. And it's such a sad thing that I'm using the word allow.
Allow.
See,
Yes.
such a sad thing, right?
Yes.
So sad.
So sad. That's so
This is, but I
interesting.
think it's a slow process. It's a slow
For
process.
the man to allow.
See,
the women-
allow.
Wow.
So sad. And I said it because I know it, because I know it's a reality.
Because yes.
I know about my culture and society. Western people don't understand the word allow. They get triggered on it. But if you come to Pakistan, you have to make peace slowly.
If I come to Pakistan, do you think I will be? I don't know. I don't know if I'm touching to any religion thing. I'm just pure asking from. I will be able to talk with a girl and maybe be in a relationship with her. This is like
you can marry Pakistani girl
or
easily.
If everyone will point at the girl and she would say, or if we have whatever sex with the girl and then we stop being together, that's a big problem. Like I want to understand.
Okay, Pakistan is actually a conservative society, and the religion is Islam. So it's things which are not allowed in religion. People don't really do it.
Okay.
Majority of the Pakistanis,
whatever the Islam
teaches,
it's kind of what's the
society actually try to follow. Yeah.
Accept the what we said before about the
corruption.
Sadly.
Corruption, law and order, so many things. There's so many things which we don't follow. Yeah, rape is a big problem.
Rape.
Yeah. I mean, of course it is. It does exist. So it is I don't know if we can talk about that, but that's because we have so much censor about these things.
Do you think it's a bigger problem in Pakistan?
See, every problem is a big problem in Pakistan, because I'm serious about this. And it does, again, people say that it does exist everywhere. Of course, it does exist everywhere. And it's such a sad thing that it does exist. It should end. But I'm talking about Pakistan. Things like this should not happen. And we need to implement properly on these laws. So we were talking about the conservative society. My country follows the religion called Islam, and they have some principles. So dating is not very much appreciated in my culture. A lot of people do, of course. We have this urban areas. A lot of people are liberal as well, westernized as well, and I perfectly agree with them. And I perfectly agree with the conservative people as well. Whoever follow whatever they want, it's their choice. But we are talking about most of the people, right? So the society is conservative. Society follows religion, and these are the things which are not allowed in religion. Allowed in a sense, allowed in the country, you won't see a lot of people do this. You won't see a lot of people drinking alcohol because it's not allowed in the religion. Yeah, but but there's a dark side to it. There are a lot of people who do it. So yeah.
Now I started thinking in my back of my head, okay, how do I make this video? So do you think I need to have a person with me when I have this video from Pakistan? Most people I will be able to communicate with
Easily.
people in Pakistan in English.
Urban side of Pakistan, easily.
But because I will travel across Pakistan from one side to the other. So do you think
We have a lot of example of foreign YouTubers who came to Pakistan all alone and they did well. So if you Google it more, you'll find a lot of. If you YouTube more, if you search on
yes,
YouTube,
I will go and watch all the travel videos.
You'll find
in
tons of
Pakistan.
YouTubers. They actually came recently, like, since 3-4 years, and they did well. I'm glad they're happy. Most of them are happy. So yeah, focus on good.
So you want to live your whole life in Pakistan. You want to maybe come in
Right
Dubai.
now.
You want to go to United States, and also there is some limitation with your visa, or
Yeah.
so you cannot travel anywhere you want, whenever you want.
Yeah.
So spoke to me a bit about your future, where you want to see. Spoke to me about this present, this problem of passport.
So Pakistani passport is 4th worst passport in the world.
Fuck. And it's a big problem, guys. So
Yeah. So again, we can't blame the world about that. First of all, I'm gonna blame my own country and its people about that. Because I made a,
bro. Like we're this whatever same age. You are 10 years older or 5 years older than me, but like it's unfair for me to just wake up in this world and have a passport that I can travel everywhere, and for you to not be able to do that, or to need like hundreds of thousands of dollars to need to.
We all have this unfair advantage, don't we?
That. Yeah, but it's like some people wake up and they want the lotto like me.
Some people are born rich as hell. Some people are born poor. This is the reality of life. But the point is, I understand what you're saying, and I think again it's a slow process. Unfortunately, we are the country who have fourth worst passport in the world. We don't have a lot of opportunity. For example, I can't wake up in the morning and I take a flight to Europe without any visa. Visa is a huge hurdle for a Pakistani. If I want to apply a UK visa, it takes 2 months or 1 month to apply, and they take the passport, and then it's not 100% sure that I'm gonna get the visa. Like 100%. I mean, it's a high chance that your visa is gonna reject for the US, for Europe, and all these places. And there are reasons behind that, obviously. So
yes,
so many reasons, bro. Because I do a lot of research about these things. So many reasons behind it. So again, it's a slow process, and Pakistanis, our own government should work a lot on that. Make sure
with other countries, what the government.
Foreign policy should be very important. Foreign relationships should be very important, and illegal immigration should be banned properly. Like again, law and order should. It all comes under law and order, man.
Yes.
If we have better law and
order, but a law and order that it's actually followed, because as you explained me, not followed by all the people, even if you are the worst, richest person, even if you are the poorest. So what's the meaning of life
for me?
For you?
I'm still trying to think about it, because someday I think about that life is this, someday I think about life is this. I think these days I'm a bit confused, but if you ask me, I have a very religious answer to that, because again I came from a Muslim background, so I'm not gonna be shy about that, and I'm very confident about that. Although I'm not too religious, but somehow I am religious, and I do believe in it. So there is a term called tawakkaltu ala Allah. Tawakkaltu ala Allah means do your best, give your best in your life, and let the God decide the result. And this is for me, this is the purpose of my life, and this helps me a lot in almost everything. That because when I think about the result, it gives me a lot of anxiety. But this thing, this theory is very important to me, and my whole life is depend on this whole theory, that give best in anything. For either it's an exam, either if I'm applying for a visa, either I'm doing a YouTube video, either I'm doing a podcast with you, either I'm like the views and all these things, either I did a recently podcast with Aline, either I came in the Nas summit and I was trying to meet other people. I was trying to give my best, and either I'm having a relationship with my wife, I'm trying to give my best, and with my parents, trying to give my best, and business, the main thing is business as well. Trying to give my best and let the God decide the result. Yeah.
I want to ask more stuff.
And this theory applies in everything. For example, God forbid, if I'm losing, if I have some sort of disease, I'll try my best to fight against it. God forbid, if I start to have some sort of disease, I'll try my best to fight against it, and I'll let the God decide about the result, if I survive or not. Doesn't matter, man. If I make money out of the business, doesn't really matter. I give my best. I'm gonna make sure that I give my best.
It is such a beautiful way to live life, kind of also relaxing, because when you give your best, you did.
Yeah, at least I did.
At least you did the best that you could, and there is no regrets, no looking back.
Yeah, yeah.
There is so many outcomes that they can. One small mistake that you did can make your life 100 times better. You never know how your life will turn out. So just living your best, I think, is a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, man.
To go. I want to ask you another question. So
sure.
He has to go to the airport ASAP now, but I will ask.
Unfortunately,
I could have, but we're going to do this properly again in the future. I love you. I love your energy.
Man, thank you very much. It means a lot to me.
So the last question is, you are a person that traveled a bit. Do you think?
I travel a lot actually, but not a lot. But yeah, I've seen the world.
In comparison to an average Pakistani.
Yeah, of course.
So, for example, now we were in a seminar together, and like meeting all these clever people, do you think it brings so much what it gives you, and what because it's different to only watch the people that you admire on YouTube, and it's different to be their friend and be in the house with them and ask them questions. So did that play a role in your growth?
I think it worked amazingly for my work, because I was here in the first Nas summit, and I told Nusair about that bro, I was so lost, and I came here, I saw the world. I saw literally the world. The whole world was of content creation, and I had no idea about that. And I'm glad that he gathered everybody. I mean, we are here because of Nusair. Such a beautiful thing, right? Such a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So thanks to him. So what I found.
Thanks to him. Nas Daily. We're going to put the link in the description. Yeah. Also, I'm going to put the link in the description of his stuff, his podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful. So. Yeah, I was lost. I didn't have much direction about that. I knew content creation. I tried a lot of things, like wine. It was working. Then after that, it was not working well. Then travel content, travel vlogs, food vlogs, anything and everything what was going on. But later on, I realized that, okay, I think after this first Nas summit, I was like, yeah, podcast is something I should really, really be serious about. And there's another thing I'm actually gonna start. I've already started. It's explainer videos, because I do have this understanding of different topics.
Explainer videos like Johnny Harris.
Yeah, Johnny. Johnny. It's a
Johnny.
very hard thing to do, but I love it.
But you're going to do it in Pakistani language.
Yeah. Inshallah. Yeah. So again, I didn't have direction. After this Nas summit, I had direction. I met people, and so much motivation I got. I can't tell you in words, bro. I was not consistent with my work. I was not serious. Then I saw people with big name, big money, and big branding and amazing. So I was like, I can be one of them. Slowly but surely, I can be. And I had that motivation. I took that motivation to my home and I started working. And now we are doing this podcast. I'm still doing a lot of hard work. And after this, in the next summit, maybe you will see a different kind of person.
I'm excited.
I'm pretty much hopeful about that.
I'm very positive about your future.
And I'm very see, this is my third summit. I'm still not a part of the speaker session. And it is such a hope for me. And at least I have a story, bro. At least I have a very interesting story. The first summit I was here for the Billion Summit, and in this Nas Summit as well, because I'm here to learn. I'm here to that's the major thing for me. But the speaker thing is such a beautiful opportunity to speak in front of a lot of people. Such a beautiful thing. And I have this value because I've been coming here since 1 year, and I understand the value of it. And I will get it once I deserve it, I believe.
Well, I hope in the next year or in the next 2, 3, or 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
We're going to see you on stage in Nas Summit.
Yeah.
I love you. You need to go to take your flight. It was a beautiful conversation.
Yes,
and people, goodbye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.